are there any questions? I said, are there any questions? Yeah, hi, I'm Peter, and you know, you guys are having a pretty good season here at the halfway point, and I was just wondering, you know, how far you think you guys can take it for this year? Well, Peter, thanks for the question. I really feel like, you know, the sky's the limit for this team as long as we make it to the playoffs. When you make it to the playoffs, you have a chance. Anything can happen in the playoffs. If we don't make it to the playoffs, we might have to, you know, fire some people and make some changes. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the question. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to yet another Miles Darkness 24/7 production. Now, today we're going over my Madden 25 Owner Mode series. And this is the halfway point, so we are going to be checking out all the stats. We're going to be checking out the stats of our team, the Cleveland Browns, at least the team that I'm using, the Cleveland Browns. And, of course, we're going to be checking out all the player stats from around the NFL. Now, one thing I want to touch on is that when I started this series, I had the idea of taking the Cleveland Browns and using them as they are now. I wanted to use the roster that they have for me. I didn't want to change anything up, really. I just wanted to use the roster that they have for me the date that I started it. And I felt like I was going to struggle. You know what I mean? I was talking to, you know, fellow YouTubers and stuff like that. They were also doing franchise, and they're like, man, you're using the Cleveland Browns? That's rough. That's exactly what I thought. I thought it was going to be rough. At the end of the day, though, I adapted to all Madden, and we started just cranking off wins. You know, we got all the way up to, I think, 5-1. Our first loss being our first game of the season versus the Miami Dolphins. You know, so ever since then, I changed up my style. From now on, everything that I call is from Ask Madden. I hit Ask Madden. It gives me those 3 plays. I pick one of those 3 plays. I come to the line of scrimmage. I may audible, but I'm not going to do hot routes to everybody's, you know, route or whatever like that. I'm going to just call one audible to change the play and then go from there. But basically, every play that I run is from Ask Madden. So ever since I started doing that, and ever since I changed up my sliders, and you guys will see those sliders as soon as we are done checking out the stats or whatever, ever since I changed my sliders and ever since I started just asking Madden, the games have been a lot more competitive. The games have been, to me, a lot better to watch. You know what I mean? It's not a blowout. You guys don't know who's going to win by halftime and stuff like that. And that's what I like, because football is very predictable. And another thing, even though I'm playing with the Cleveland Browns and even though it is the NFL, I feel like any team, any year, can make a run, make it to the playoffs. That's truly how I feel. Now, there's certain circumstances that stay in your way. Maybe there's like a controversy in the locker room, bad coaching, bad quarterback play, just have a sucky team, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we never know who's really going to make it to the playoffs. How many of us really thought that the Chargers were going to make it? How many of us really thought that the Carolina Panthers would win their own division and get in that way? You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, I understand that in the NFL, you never know what can happen, but I also wanted to be realistic of how the Cleveland Browns are, and that's why I changed up my sliders, and that's why I changed the way that I'm playing, just by asking Madden, and he picks the play for me, and we go out and try and execute, right? So we're checking out some of the top passes, and Brandon Wheaton is actually like in the top 10 when it comes to passing yards. Checking out TDs, and Brandon Wheaton is in like the top 6 when it comes to passing TDs. But as you will see later, he is also leading the league in INTs. That's not good. But again, that's what I wanted. And let's talk about Brandon Wheaton. A lot of people have been asking. I've been getting some comments on it. Some people have suggested that I go with a younger quarterback because Brandon Wheaton, even though he's in his 2nd year, you know, he is like 29, 28 years old or whatever. So people are saying go with a younger quarterback, maybe, you know, bench him for Jason Campbell, you know, maybe find a quarterback in free agency, find a quarterback in the upcoming draft. And I'm thinking about all those possibilities. But I also want to be fair, and I know it's a video game, but I also want to be fair to Brandon Wheaton. I feel like the Cleveland Browns do not have the best roster around him. They do not have the best offensive line in front of him. He does not have the best running back at all to hand the ball off. I mean, Willis McGay, he's from the U. Got love for him, but he is, you know, he's at the end of his career. Deion Lewis, the backup running back, he is not an every down back in my opinion. And the only weapon that we have on the outside is Josh Gordon. Jordan Cameron, he's been kind of inconsistent, this whole season so far. So I will definitely be making some changes to this roster. Even if we make it to the playoffs, I will still probably make changes to this roster, because right now I don't see us as a Super Bowl contender year in and year out with this team. Because again, I do want to try and take this series at least 5 to 6 years. You know, of course giving you guys those online ranked matches too. But I do want to see how far I can take this series, how entertaining I can make it, and to see the support that I can get from doing this series, right? So, we're checking out the stats for receiving. Wes Welker got the most receiving yards. He's absolutely killing. Calvin Johnson, he's up there. Demarius Thomas, Victor Cruz, he's having a pretty good year. Eli Manning has like 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions at this point. So that's not that bad considering who Eli Manning is, right? Right. So now we're just checking out the TDs and stuff like that. Miles Austin is leading the league in TDs. Calvin Johnson has 6. Wes Welker has 6. Riley Cooper, he has 5. So he's doing his thing as well. Now another thing, I was looking, because Madden does have a roster share, you know, like a file share and stuff like that. So I was looking for some rosters to see if I can get, you know, maybe Johnny Manziel in here and stuff like that. And all the rosters I came across, they were cool, but they weren't to my liking, and I feel like I don't have time to sit down and create a roster set, excuse me, for this series. So I decided just to go with the default roster, whatever you call it. This the generic players that EA Sports gonna give me, instead of just having a couple of people that are real and have a couple of people that are just not real. That's just my take on it, right? So looking at the defensive stats right now, and my man Jabbar Sheard is coming up with 12 tackles for loss, also has 7 sacks on the season as well. And the part that I was talking about is coming up when I'm gonna check the INTs, and I'm telling you, and you guys will see the sliders. I keep on saying, you guys will see the sliders and stuff like that. And a little hint, I'm gonna just give it away. The sliders, I have interceptions turned all the way down. It's at 0 for the slider set. It's at 0. And you guys will see here that my man Joe Hayden has 8 interceptions at this point in the season, leading the league. And the guy who's second behind him is my man Buster, the other cornerback from the Cleveland Browns. He has 5, so they're both the top the NFL. But when I go to the league leaders, excuse me, the league leaders, excuse me, they're nowhere to be found, right? So I'm thinking to myself, where are they? I'm in the interception column, I'm looking for it, and they're just not there at all. And I'm like, man, they must have like a glitch where he's not supposed to have 8 interceptions or whatever. So who knows? Checking out my man Jarius Bird. He signed a new 5-year deal. Can I borrow $1? Jimmy Graham, can I borrow $2? He getting 6 years, $42 million. He's paid, right? Right. So now we're gonna check out the sliders. Checking out the QB accuracy is 6 for me. The player skill, that's what I'm working with. So 6, 30 pass block, 50 receiver catching. Really don't want to mess with that. Run block is at 35, fumbles 35. Pass defense reaction time 34. Again, interception 0, pass coverage 40. And then we go down to the computer. His accuracy, the computer's accuracy is at 19. So everything for the computer is boosted up just a little bit. Field goals and stuff like that I might change. For the most part, I left the game options the way that there are: injuries, fatigue. They do have a slider set for penalties, but I couldn't find one to my liking, so I just decided to leave them at 50 for everything, and that's how I'm rolling. So hope you guys enjoy the sliders, because that's what I'm rolling with. And again, I'm having a pretty good time using this slider set. I'm having a lot better games. It's as simple as that. I'm just having better games. If you want to set these, just go to the main menu, go to help and settings, then go to your settings, go down to player skills, set them to what you want. You back out of this, and then you go to computer skills, and you do the exact same thing for your computer skills. Now, some people want them to match up, to have the computer skills and player skills exactly the same. If you do that, you will not be on all Madden. That's as simple as it is. If you have the skills exactly even, you will not be on all Madden, and that's just the way it is. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, I enjoy bringing it to you, and I'm out.